Hello, perceptive Scorpio. August 10 and 11, 2026 invite you into a quieter kind of transformation, one that asks you to notice what has been shifting beneath the surface instead of forcing immediate answers. You may sense that an old layer of protection is beginning to loosen, making room for a more authentic version of yourself to emerge. Rather than resisting that feeling, allow yourself to explore it with curiosity, because every honest realization becomes another step toward greater emotional freedom. Across these 2 days, you'll likely move between moments of inspiration and uncertainty, and that's part of the process. Scorpio often senses the truth long before it can be explained, so if your intuition is nudging you toward reflection, trust it. Give yourself space to slow down, breathe deeply, or spend time somewhere peaceful where your thoughts can settle naturally. Clarity rarely arrives through force. It often appears when you stop trying to control every outcome. As your perspective becomes clearer, you may recognize what has truly been draining your energy. Perhaps it's an old fear of trusting again, a need to stay guarded, or a belief that you must carry every burden alone. During August 10, allow yourself to acknowledge those feelings without judgment. By August 11, you'll be in a stronger position to make choices that reflect who you are becoming rather than who you once needed to be. Whether those choices involve your relationships, your work, or a personal dream you've quietly protected, let them come from your own inner truth instead of seeking approval from others. Your greatest strength now isn't perfection or control, but your ability to recognize what deserves your energy and what no longer belongs in your life. Small, intentional decisions made with honesty can create lasting change far beyond what they seem to accomplish in the moment. As these 2 days unfold, you may notice a growing sense of balance replacing emotional tension. Every choice rooted in self-awareness reinforces your resilience and reminds you that transformation is not about becoming someone different. It's about returning to the strength that has always existed beneath the surface. Release whatever fear no longer serves your growth, knowing that each experience, whether comfortable or challenging, can deepen your understanding of yourself. Your presence carries a quiet intensity now, and people may naturally respond to the competence that comes from authenticity rather than appearances. Trust your ability to move forward with compassion, discernment, and emotional honesty. While these reflections are offered as guidance rather than certainty, take what genuinely resonates with your own experience and leave behind what doesn't. Every Scorpio walks a unique path, and your intuition remains your most reliable compass. In the next part, we'll explore how these themes may be reflected across your relationships, career, finances, physical well-being, and family life. Before we continue, I'd like to share a symbolic color that reflects the energy of these 2 days. If this message has spoken to you or encouraged a meaningful moment of reflection, I'd truly appreciate your support with a like. Your encouragement helps this channel continue creating thoughtful guidance with care and consistency for everyone who chooses to be here. For this passage, the symbolic color is deep burgundy, a reminder of resilience, renewal, and the quiet strength that grows through honest transformation. You might choose to wear it or simply keep it in mind as a personal symbol of the emotional depth you're embracing. More important than the color itself is what it represents. Your willingness to move beyond the surface and trust the wisdom waiting beneath it. You are entering a period of profound inner movement. Something within you is becoming impossible to ignore, inviting you to look beyond appearances and discover what your heart has quietly known all along. Across August 10 and 11, 2026, you may feel an unmistakable pull to look beneath the surface of your experiences instead of accepting easy answers. Questions that once seemed too uncomfortable or too complicated may suddenly demand your attention, and rather than avoiding them, you'll feel ready to explore them with honesty. This growing curiosity isn't meant to create uncertainty. It is inviting you into a deeper relationship with yourself. What begins as quiet reflection could become one of the most meaningful turning points in your personal growth. People around you may notice something has shifted, even if they can't quite explain what it is. You're not becoming someone different. You're allowing parts of yourself that have long remained protected to finally be seen. Scorpio naturally senses what exists beneath appearances, And over these 2 days, that perception becomes even more refined. Not everyone will understand your changing perspective, and that's perfectly all right, because your path isn't measured by other people's comfort. Some encounters may leave you feeling unexpectedly guarded or emotionally unsettled. Instead of reacting immediately, pay attention to the subtle signals within you that distinguish genuine connection from misplaced trust. Healthy boundaries become acts of self-respect rather than distance. Your intuition is especially sharp now, quietly showing you when to lean in with openness and when preserving your energy is the wiser choice. Your dreams may also become richer in symbolism during this passage. Rather than treating every image as a prediction, approach them as conversations with your subconscious, revealing emotions or truths that have been waiting patiently for your attention. If a dream lingers after you wake, write down whatever you remember without worrying whether it makes sense. Sometimes, meaning reveals itself gradually, long after the moment has passed. Emotionally, you'll begin noticing subtle changes that are difficult to ignore. A longing for greater authenticity may replace old habits of emotional protection, encouraging you to acknowledge needs you've quietly set aside. Listen carefully to those inner movements, because they are pointing toward a version of yourself that feels more grounded and more at peace. Decisions involving close relationships may become clearer as your understanding of your own heart deepens. You may also become more aware of someone whose emotions toward you feel unusually intense. Rather than assuming motives or expecting conflict, observe the situation with patience and emotional maturity. If old wounds or unresolved feelings rise to the surface to an important conversation, let honesty guide your words without allowing fear to shape them. Sometimes the most meaningful turning points begin when two people finally speak with sincerity instead of self-protection. Across these 2 days, an atmosphere of quiet renewal surrounds you. Opportunities that once felt distant may begin to feel possible again, not because circumstances have suddenly changed, but because your perspective has. What seemed hidden may gradually come into clearer focus, allowing you to recognize possibilities that had been waiting for your attention all along. The greatest transformation often begins the moment you stop doubting your own inner wisdom. The magician symbolizes your ability to work with the strengths you already possess instead of searching for something outside yourself. It reminds you that your insight, resilience, and determination can help turn thoughtful intentions into meaningful action, particularly where long-term career goals or financial ambitions are concerned. Someone may approach you with quiet curiosity, taking time to understand who you really are before revealing their own intentions. Let trust develop naturally rather than rushing to define every connection. The sun brings warmth to situations that may have felt uncertain for some time. It suggests a growing sense of clarity, helping emotional burdens feel lighter as hidden truths gradually come into view. A sincere connection, perhaps with someone whose outlook is youthful, hopeful, or refreshingly open-minded, could remind you that joy often returns when you stop carrying yesterday's fears into tomorrow's possibilities. Encouraging news connected to your home, work, or a meaningful personal goal may reinforce that sense of forward movement. The King of Pentacles reflects stability earned through patience rather than luck. Professional opportunities or practical improvements may arise because of choices you've been making consistently over time, and someone with grounded wisdom could play an encouraging role in that progress. Their influence supports both your ambitions and your desire to build something lasting instead of chasing temporary success. Security becomes more meaningful when it grows from self-trust. The Knight of Wands introduces movement where hesitation once existed. Someone who has kept their feelings private may finally choose to express them, or you may find yourself ready to act on a decision you've postponed. Scorpio often prefers certainty before taking emotional risks, yet this energy encourages thoughtful courage instead of endless caution. Your ability to balance passion with discernment becomes one of your greatest strengths now. The Fool invites you to loosen your grip on fears that no longer protect you. Rather than asking you to abandon wisdom, it encourages you to approach new experiences without allowing old disappointments to define every possibility. Whether the next step appears in love, your work, or your personal healing, trust that growth begins when you make room for something different. Together, these symbols describe a journey of renewal built on honesty, resilience, and the quiet confidence that emerges when you fully recognize your own strength. As these themes continue unfolding, your body also deserves your attention. You may have spent so much energy meeting expectations or carrying emotional weight that you've overlooked your own need for restoration. Emotional fatigue doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it appears as restlessness, tension, or difficulty feeling fully present. Give yourself permission to slow your pace, breathe deeply, and remember that caring for yourself isn't stepping away from your responsibilities. It's what allows you to meet them with clarity and strength. Across August 10 and 11, your body and emotions are asking for the same thing: a little more space to breathe. Not every responsibility requires your immediate attention, and not every outcome rests entirely on your shoulders. If you've been carrying tension without acknowledging it, this is the moment to pause before exhaustion quietly takes its place. Real strength isn't measured by how much you can endure, but by recognizing when restoration has become essential. Pay close attention to your inner landscape during these 2 days. If you notice yourself feeling emotionally drained, unusually impatient, or disconnected from your own center, treat those feelings as valuable signals rather than inconveniences. Drink plenty of water, spend time outdoors if you can, and allow moments of stillness to interrupt the constant pressure to keep moving. Caring for yourself isn't a distraction from your purpose. It helps you return to it with greater clarity. Sometimes healing begins with something remarkably simple: noticing what you truly need without criticizing yourself for needing it. You don't have to earn permission to rest, reset, or protect your peace. Practical wisdom will guide you more effectively than self-imposed pressure, and small adjustments made consistently can restore a surprising amount of energy. Quiet awareness often becomes the first step toward lasting balance. Professionally, you've already built a strong foundation through commitment and perseverance. But growth now asks for curiosity rather than routine. The world around you continues to evolve, and embracing new skills or unfamiliar tools can strengthen your confidence instead of challenging it. Whether you explore a course, attend a workshop, or learn through an insightful conversation, every new perspective has the potential to expand your abilities. Progress doesn't come from competing with others. It comes from continuing to develop your own potential. Everything you learn during this period becomes an investment in your future. You aren't being asked to leave behind what you've already accomplished. You're being invited to build upon it with greater wisdom and flexibility. Evolution rarely means beginning again from nothing. More often, it means allowing your experience to mature into something even more meaningful. If you're currently searching for new professional opportunities, trust that your depth, creativity, and emotional intelligence have more value than you may realize. Should an interview or important conversation arise across August 10 and 11, approach it with quiet confidence instead of trying to prove yourself. Authenticity often leaves a stronger impression than perfection, and people are likely to recognize the sincerity behind your words. Financially, this period encourages thoughtful expansion rather than impulsive action. Resources you've been cultivating patiently may begin showing signs of growth, perhaps through a project that finally regains momentum, or through an opportunity that initially appears smaller than its true potential. Instead of seeing these developments as coincidence, recognize them as the natural result of choices you've been making over time. Preparation often creates the conditions that make opportunity easier to recognize. As possibilities begin to emerge, stay grounded and trust your own judgment. Matters connected to your home, long-term stability, or future planning may deserve closer attention, and guidance from someone with experience or strategic insight could help you see options that hadn't previously occurred to you. Scorpio's strength lies in perceiving what others overlook, so allow both intuition and careful observation to work together before making important decisions. Your understanding of abundance may also begin to shift. Rather than measuring success only by immediate results, you'll recognize the quiet value of consistent, intentional progress. Revisiting a postponed idea, refining an existing plan, or committing to a practical next step can create meaningful momentum over time. Focus on what feels sustainable instead of chasing uncertain promises, and allow growth to unfold at a pace that honors both wisdom and patience. In matters of the heart, events may not follow the script you expected, yet that doesn't mean they're moving in the wrong direction. Unexpected moments often reveal truths that carefully planned conversations never could. If you're in a relationship, differing perspectives may surface, not because love has weakened, but because both of you are continuing to grow. Honest communication becomes especially important now, particularly if you've been protecting emotions that deserve to be expressed. If something meaningful has been left unsaid, consider sharing it with openness instead of waiting for perfect timing. Emotional vulnerability can feel unfamiliar, especially when old disappointments have encouraged you to stay guarded, but genuine intimacy grows where honesty is welcomed. Someone who truly cares about you won't expect you to remain unchanged. They'll understand that personal transformation is part of building a deeper, healthier connection together. If you're single, August 10 and 11 offer a meaningful opportunity to soften the walls you've built around your heart. There may be a quiet sense that someone, or perhaps a new chapter in your emotional life, is beginning to draw closer, even if nothing feels obvious yet. Rather than trying to become more impressive, focus on feeling more at home within yourself. The more comfortable you become with your own emotional truth, the more naturally you attract people who appreciate you for who you genuinely are, instead of who you think you need to be. The connections that carry real depth usually begin when you're no longer trying to prove your worth, but simply allowing yourself to be seen as you are. If someone unexpected enters your life during this period, let curiosity lead before fear does. Scorpio naturally values trust, and that's a strength, but trust grows through shared experience rather than certainty. Meaningful relationships are rarely built in a single moment. They unfold through consistent honesty, mutual respect, and the willingness to discover one another gradually. You don't need to abandon healthy boundaries. You simply don't have to let old disappointments decide the future before it has a chance to unfold. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is allowing possibility to exist, even when every part of you wants guarantees that no beginning can truly offer. Within your home and family, these 2 days encourage a quieter sense of stability. Conversations may naturally turn toward shared hopes, future plans, or practical decisions that strengthen everyone's sense of security. Even small moments, sharing a meal, listening without interruption, or checking in with someone you love can strengthen bonds more than elaborate gestures. You don't have to carry every responsibility yourself in order to be a source of strength. Your steady presence often speaks more powerfully than trying to solve every problem, reminding those around you that reliability is sometimes expressed through calm consistency rather than constant action. This is also a meaningful time to notice emotional patterns that have been passed from one generation to another. Old expectations, unspoken habits, or long-held misunderstandings may become easier to recognize with compassion rather than judgment. You may begin to understand that some reactions you've carried for years were learned long before you realized they weren't truly your own. Healing doesn't always require dramatic conversations. Sometimes it begins when one person chooses a different response. A younger family member or someone with a fresh perspective may offer insights that gently shift the atmosphere in unexpected ways, reminding everyone that wisdom often arrives through openness rather than age alone. Allow yourself to welcome these exchanges with openness instead of obligation. Honest conversations deepen trust when everyone feels heard rather than corrected. There is quiet strength in asking thoughtful questions instead of rushing to provide answers, and in allowing silence to create understanding rather than discomfort. Whether you're offering practical support or simply being fully present, your willingness to listen creates space where others feel safe enough to do the same. Small expressions of kindness often leave a deeper impression than grand gestures ever could, because they communicate care in ways that words alone cannot. Your energy may fluctuate across August 10 and 11. The beginning of this passage could feel slower or more introspective, while later you may notice a renewed sense of focus and emotional clarity. Rather than judging yourself for moving at a different pace, recognize that your inner rhythm is adjusting to everything you've been processing. Use the moments when your energy naturally rises to handle important responsibilities or make thoughtful decisions. And when your body asks for rest, honor that request without guilt. Balance is created by listening, not by pushing beyond your limits, and the quality of your energy matters far more than the quantity of tasks you complete. One of your greatest strengths during these 2 days is your intuition. Quiet realizations, subtle impressions, or an unexpected feeling about a person or situation may deserve your attention. Scorpio often senses shifts long before circumstances fully reveal themselves, not because of certainty, but because of a remarkable ability to notice emotional undercurrents that others overlook. Rather than dismissing these moments, sit with them and allow understanding to unfold naturally. Scorpio often recognizes emotional truths long before they become visible on the surface, and patience will help those insights mature into genuine wisdom. At the same time, old memories may resurface, especially during quieter moments. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, view them as invitations to notice how much you've already grown. You may find yourself remembering situations that once carried pain, only to realize they no longer hold the same power over your heart. The past has shaped you, but it doesn't have to define the choices you make now. Protect your energy by stepping back from conversations or environments that consistently leave you feeling depleted. And remember that healthy boundaries are expressions of self-respect, not distance. Choosing peace over unnecessary conflict is not avoidance. It is an act of emotional maturity. As you move forward, let humility guide your progress. Lasting transformation rarely needs to announce itself loudly. It reveals itself through consistent, thoughtful choices made over time. Real confidence becomes quieter as it grows, because it no longer depends on recognition from others. Gratitude, patience, and emotional honesty will carry you farther than urgency ever could, allowing your growth to feel stable instead of rushed. If you're studying or developing new skills, this period reminds you to trust your own ability. You may underestimate how naturally you absorb knowledge or connect ideas, yet your curiosity remains one of your greatest assets. Every subject you explore has the potential to strengthen not only your understanding, but also your confidence in your own capacity to adapt. Stay organized in a way that supports your focus rather than creating unnecessary pressure. And don't allow temporary distractions to overshadow your long-term goals. Confidence grows each time you honor your commitment to learning, even when progress feels gradual rather than dramatic. In your interactions with others, certain signs may naturally complement the energy of these 2 days. Taurus can remind you of the value of patience, practical thinking, and building lasting foundations. Aquarius may inspire fresh perspectives and encourage you to see possibilities that challenge familiar patterns. Gemini, with their honesty and curiosity, could offer observations that help you recognize something you've overlooked. Rather than focusing on compatibility as certainty, see these encounters as opportunities to learn from different ways of thinking and communicating. Treat these connections as opportunities for mutual growth rather than fixed predictions, allowing every meaningful conversation to expand your perspective and deepen your understanding of both yourself and others. As we come to the close of this reflection, thank you for sharing these moments with me and for choosing to explore your inner world with openness. Every time you pause to reflect instead of reacting automatically, you strengthen your relationship with your own inner wisdom. These messages are never meant to replace your own judgment or tell you exactly what your future holds. Instead, they're offered as gentle reflections to help you notice the patterns, choices, and possibilities already unfolding within your own life. Take with you whatever genuinely resonates and allow everything else to pass without pressure. Your intuition remains your most trustworthy guide as you continue moving forward, especially when external opinions become louder than your own inner voice. If this reflection brought you clarity or encouragement, I'd truly appreciate your support with a like, as it helps these messages reach others who may also find comfort in them. And if you'd like to continue exploring future reflections together, you're always welcome to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you again for your time, your trust, and your presence. I hope these reflections encourage you to move through August 10 and 11 with greater self-awareness, emotional courage, and quiet confidence. Wishing you peace, resilience, and a deeper trust in the path that continues to unfold before you.